It's truly wonderful to be back here today in a place that holds so many cherished memories for me. I'd like to begin with a quote by Thomas Alva Edison, one that my mother often repeated to my brother and I as we were growing up. Edison said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." These words have stayed with me, reminding me that success is just not about having great ideas, but also about putting in the hard work, dedication, patience, and sacrifice to turn those ideas into reality. Our family business started off as Tulips, a fine dine restaurant run by my parents, which my mother then took forward as a bakery named Deli Fresh. I eventually joined the business, and together we turned it into Plate and Pint, a cafe that started as a dream and became a reality. My journey began right here at BIS, where the intimate class sizes fostered a one-on-one interaction among students, not just within the same batch, but across different batches. The involvement of mothers who contributed in various roles, whether it was cooking and serving us lunch, or whether it was in the library, also helped create a second home for us, where everyone knew everyone else. This environment not only gave me a sense of belonging, but also built the confidence within me to approach people, strike up a conversation, and enjoy myself while doing so. These skills have become second nature to me thanks to the foundation laid here in BIS from a very young age. Today, these are the values that are deeply embedded in the ethos of my restaurant. I always had a deep-seated passion for good food. It's not just about the flavors and textures for me. It's about the experience, the memories created around a dining table, and the joy of sharing a meal with loved ones. This passion, coupled with my early exposure to the inner workings of the food business, through watching my mother run Deli Fresh, ignited a spark in me to pursue a career in hospitality at the Institute of Hotel Management, Mumbai, followed by a stint at the Taj Mahal Hotel, after which I specialized in patisserie at Le Cordon Bleu in London. On my return from London, I eagerly took the reins at Deli Fresh, brimming with ideas inspired by my time abroad and my few years of learning and working in the hospitality industry. However, I quickly realized that Deli Fresh was not reaching its full potential. The ambience felt dated, the service was too formal. Determined to create a more casual, homely atmosphere and serve dishes that resonated with contemporary tastes, I envisioned transforming Deli Fresh into something new. It was really tough to convince my father, who comes from a more traditional school of thought. He believed there was little to be done for Deli Fresh. But I was adamant and detailed out my various arguments for change for months on end. With each round of discussion and persuasion, he came to realize that not only did I have the inspiration for what our business could look like, but I was willing to put in the perspiration and do what it took to bring it to life. Revamping Deli Fresh into Plate and Pint was a big gamble, much like any new business venture. My family and I, along with Latika Amarsi, also a BIS parent and a very dear family friend, designed the interiors at Plate and Pint, bringing our vision to life. From selecting the furniture to the floor tiling to curating the menu, we were deeply involved in all the aspects of conceptualizing our restaurant. Our cafe has no roadside frontage, which I considered a big challenge. But my father's confidence in the power of good food, good service, and value for money to generate the word-of-mouth awareness was very reassuring. Every business has its share of challenges, and mine was no different. I remember during our opening week, we had a lady come in with her two hungry, crying kids. Unfortunately, her order took longer than expected, and she left really angry, screaming at me in frustration. So having failed to meet our clients' expectations, as well as my own, I felt incredibly overwhelmed, and I just burst into tears. I went home with a heavy heart that day. At that time, my only idea of how to fix this was to just not charge her for the meal. But now, having been at this for a while, I realized that sometimes things go wrong and that there are better ways of improving the experience of a customer in the moment. If this happened today, I would have sent something ahead for the kids and communicated to them that it would take a little longer than usual without getting so emotional and crying about it. In our industry, in general, not this incident, but it's a given that the guest is always right. So even if they call a brownie a cupcake, we have to just smile and, accept that, yeah, okay, you're correct. Which leads me to this. The challenges we face are the ones that become invaluable lessons, shaping how we manage expectations and handle difficult situations. For me, learning to say no was the biggest development that I would say the restaurant helped me with. I found it very difficult to say no. So the challenges we faced as a business made us more resilient and better equipped to serve our guests. And through it all, we've learned and continue to strive for excellence in every aspect of our business. Back in the day, when I graduated from BIS, my parents were initially hesitant about my choice to pursue a career in hospitality. They had experienced the demanding nature of the restaurant business firsthand. The long hours, the lack of weekends off, and the need for constant personal involvement and supervision, which I now see for myself. Despite their concerns, I was determined to follow my passion and create something unique and special. So there are still some days when I feel like throwing in the towel, but then there are days when I receive compliments about the cafe and see the results, and it makes it all worthwhile. My parents, in particular, have been instrumental in shaping the businesswoman I am today. From my father, I learned effective communication, patience, and the art of listening more and reacting less. He assists us in sourcing everything from our equipment to our daily produce from the right places, ensuring the right price without compromising on quality. From him, I learned that revenues and profitability should never be missed out in all our passion, which is where he still makes sure that the numbers are in place. My mother instilled in me a deep sense of consistency, a meticulous approach to quality, and the importance of maintaining high levels of hygiene. These lessons have become the foundation of how I run Plate and Pint today. Running my own business gives me a sense of independence and control, which are huge, huge motivators. It has taught me how to prioritize and strike a balance between work and life, which is a lesson I'm still learning. The unwavering support of my family, my friends, and my mentors keeps me grounded and gives me strength. I firmly also believe in the importance of my team and their hard work. As the saying goes, teamwork makes the dream work. My leadership style involves working closely with my team every single day, treating them as equals. I've developed this approach over the years because I believe it fosters easy communication among team members, and it also gives me joy in personally attending to my guests, many of which I've now formed relationships with, which go beyond the regular customer-client relationship. As we celebrate our journey of 6 solid years and look to the future, one thing remains clear. Plate and Pint will always be a place where everyone is welcome, where the coffee is always brewing and the conversation is always flowing. I am grateful for my journey here, which has been nothing short of one of growth, learning, and most importantly, love. Love for my team, love for my guests, and love for the work that I do. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Monaz, for sharing your story. Does anybody have any questions for Monaz? There's one here.
Hi, So as you mentioned, you pursued a career that was something that you were passionate about rather than maybe what would be considered a conventional career or something. How, firstly, did you convince yourself that that was something that was worth it? Like, as you said, it was a gamble. How do you convince yourself that that's something that you'd be able to do rather than take the easy path? And also then, as you said, convince your parents maybe that it was the right decision for you.
Yeah. So that's really true. So, a lot of what Ritika said is what I experienced as well. So back in the day when I was just out of school and college, I mean, we'd be so used to going out, partying, going for dinners, taking the weekends off to Lonavala, Alibag, and then came hospitality. So while everyone was doing all of this in college, there came a time when I did my 3-year degree where I would have to literally go back to school wearing a uniform, being there from morning to evening. Initially, for the first 1 year, I did question myself, but honestly, it was like very instinctive to me. I've always wanted to do something around food, and I always enjoy chatting with people. I think I see you at the cafe very often, and you must have realized that. So I love coming up to people, I love talking to them, and something about that made me realize that yes, I can do this. And when I came to Delhi Fresh initially, my father was very sure that, take this place and put in the work and run it, and you'll manage to do well. So I did that for about a year and a half. But like I said, it's the choice that I made. And there are some times when, of course, it gets difficult, and you think that, maybe I shouldn't do this, but then there's nothing else I would see myself doing. You need to really love it that much that, it keeps you going. That's about it. So it's what you love, you should do that. The passion just, everything just follows after that. Thank you.
Thanks, Monaz. In the interest of time, I'm going to move on to the next speaker,
Sure.
I think.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.